Click on a viral news story? Turns out it could be a fake AI-generated story made in China. Welcome to China Uncensored. I'm Chris Chappell. Have you heard about Newsbreak? It's a news aggregator that publishes licensed content from major media outlets alongside local news personalized for each user. Sounds great! In fact, Newsbreak consistently ranks as the top free news app in the US and claims to have over 50 million monthly users. There's just one tiny problem. Newsbreak has Chinese roots and writes fiction using AI. Okay, I guess technically that's two problems. According to Reuters, previously unreported court documents show that Newsbreak has been caught more than once publishing fake AI-generated stories and stealing content from its competitors. For example, there was one about a deadly Christmas shooting in New Jersey that never happened. The only fictional New Jersey man I want to see shooting people up on Christmas is John McClane. And yes, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Newsbreak also once reported that a charity in Pennsylvania was holding a 24-hour foot care clinic for homeless people, when it was, in fact, doing no such thing. Keep in mind that this is the #1 app where people get their news. Now, Newsbreak denies its China connections and insists that it's a US company and always has been. And if there's anyone you can trust, it's the news company making fake AI-generated stories. Newsbreak was launched by Particle Media, a company founded in 2015 by Jeff Zheng, a former Yahoo executive who led Yahoo Labs in Beijing. He oversaw algorithm research and development for online search, media, advertising, and mobile. Before Particle Media and Newsbreak, Zheng founded the Chinese company Yidian Zishun in 2013. In fact, until 2019, Newsbreak was an Yidian Zishun subsidiary. Yidian Zishun was the news aggregating app that inspired Newsbreak. It was made as a rival to Toutiao, the app created by ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok. Why do all roads lead back to TikTok? Hey, for any kids watching this, here's a fun TikTok challenge. Get the heck off TikTok! The Chinese Communist Party loves Yidian Zishun. In 2016, officials praised Yidian, calling it the best mobile government information dissemination platform for telling Xinjiang's story well. Which is all you really need to know, since telling China's story well is a Chinese Communist Party catch-all term for propaganda. So we can presume Yidian Zishun's coverage of Xinjiang lacked any reference to the genocidal concentration camps. They must have just accidentally left that out on purpose. Accidentally. And in 2017, officials noted that Yidian Zishun played a huge role in guiding public opinion for the Chinese government. You know, I think there's a word for intentionally guiding people's opinions on political matters. What is it again? Oh yeah, journalism. Way to go, Yidian Zishun. Yidian Zishun's largest stakeholder is Phoenix New Media, whose parent company is Phoenix TV, a mouthpiece for the CCP. Speaking of mouth and other body pieces, the CCP is totally okay with harvesting organs from political dissidents. But don't worry, I'm sure that Newsbreak totally won't be anything like Yidian Zishun. Just ignore how China calls Newsbreak the English version of Yidian Zishun, and a key step for its globalization. While you're at it, ignore how Li Ya, the president of state-run Phoenix New Media, once served as director at Newsbreak. Those are all just a bunch of coincidences. Kind of like how so many people that smoke get lung cancer. I mean, what are the odds? Newsbreak's controversial Chinese ties don't end there. There are also its investors. Among them is IDG Capital, a company blacklisted by the US Department of Defense for having military ties. And then there's Zhen Fund, a company established by Sequoia Capital China, who funds Chinese AI companies that support the CCP's human rights abuses and military. AI, they can never get hands or ethics right. Half of Newsbreak's 200 employees are based in China, as are a majority of Newsbreak's engineers. Calling Newsbreak American is like making a sandwich using over 50% squirrel meat and calling it pork, which coincidentally is what McDonald's does with the McRib. These people are the ones who are designing Newsbreak, an app that millions of Americans are going to for news, and they're based in China where the Chinese Communist Party has a nasty habit of blackbagging people who don't toe the party line. Can we really trust them to not promote Chinese influence operations with their unique brand of, what's the word again? Journalism. We've already seen how other China-linked news aggregation apps like ByteDance TopBuzz have done just that. It pushed pro-China messages and removed content China doesn't like the 2019 Hong Kong protests, articles about Chinese leader Xi Jinping, and the memes comparing him to Winnie the Pooh, which Xi really hates, and which you can get on a shirt at the China Uncensored merchandise page. Oh, don't buy it, seriously, it makes Xi so mad. ByteDance shut down TopBuzz back in 2020, but Newsbreak is still around to continue the job. Now you might think it's bad enough that China could be pumping Americans full of literal fake news and propaganda, but it gets worse. Like TikTok, this also poses a security threat to people's privacy through mass data collection. Chinese job advertisements for Newsbreak are seeking data analysts and engineers capable of in-depth mining of massive user behavior data from American users. Oh boy, I'm so curious to see what Chinese employees want to do with all that data. Newsbreak also at one point had Harry Shum as its board chairman. He's the same guy who served as president of Microsoft AI and Research Group and helped establish the Microsoft Research Asia Lab, which has trained China's top AI talent. It's so comforting knowing that American corporations like Yahoo and Microsoft are totally okay with giving China the know-how to run apps like Newsbreak. But if you're looking for a much better way to get news than subscribing to an app with questionable links to the Chinese Communist Party and a history of using AI to create fake news, I have a show I think you might be interested in. A former writer for China Uncensored has gone rogue and created her own YouTube channel, Newsbreak. I'll let her explain it to you in her own words.
Journalists. They don't need a license, they don't have to pass an exam, or really answer to anyone outside their newsrooms. And yet, despite those low barriers, journalists control the oxygen that is our politics. They have an outsized influence on our culture, and they're oftentimes the drivers of the narratives that shape our conversations. And like everyone else, journalists have their blind spots. They have confirmation bias, and they can fall prey to the same corrupting influences as anyone else. And that's where Newsbreak comes in.
So do me a favor and click here to subscribe. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. See you next time.